You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome into this postcast episode. My name is Mark Farzetta, and this is your Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Appreciate you having in. Before we cover all the bases with your Philadelphia Phillies, we do have to tell you this episode is brought to you by the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. The years is what keeps on amazing me about this Philadelphia Phillies team. Time and time again, it's the years. When you go back to all the years that we've covered, 1910, 1913, 1976, 1983, all the things that this Phillies team has been able to do in recent months to start this season off, including matching the hottest streak since 2001 with the Seattle Mariners. The years that keep on flying by here, we have another one for you. The Philadelphia Phillies, over this stretch of games, 29-6 in a 35-game stretch equals their best 35-game stretch since 1892. 1892 is the latest wow year to throw out regarding your Philadelphia Phillies. So when I say cherish these moments, I'm saying cherish these moments. They've got a long season in front of them. I saw the post-game press conference with Bryce Harper last night talking about kind of cherishing everything that's going on, staying aggressive, staying confident. Shouldn't be too hard to stay confident when you're off to the best start in a franchise's history, and a franchise that's been around since 1883. Goodness gracious, should be pretty easy to stay confident, but still, long way to go. And one of the best things I heard after last night's win, game two in this series against the Rangers, the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers, was Rob Thompson's quote after last night's game when he was asked about the best start in baseball since 2001, since those Mariners. Rob Thompson looked at the reporter, Matt Gelb of The Athletic, and said, and what did they do? What did the Mariners do? Well, they didn't win the championship. Okay, well, they didn't win the championship, so then we just keep going. There's plenty more to do. A great start does not equal a great season. A great historical 2 months does not guarantee you the World Series championship. So for now, you enjoy it. You call it what it is, which is a fantastic foundation. You just want to keep on building upon. And that's how the Phillies are taking this in stride. Let's get to three big things when we talk about this Phillies team. I said it a lot yesterday. It's even more pertinent right now. It's even more important, even more on point right now. Number one, I'm going to combine these with two guys, Cristian Pache and Edmundo Sosa. Edmundo Sosa takes the taco as far as I'm concerned. He takes the cake when it comes to what this Phillies team has been able to do this year, as far as, especially in this game, when you're talking about 3 hits from him today. You're talking about how he has hit for this team in the time that Trey Turner has been on the mend. He has been clutch. And you see him play shortstop even better each and every game. Makes a great play in the first inning to help out Zack Wheeler, make sure he doesn't give up a first inning single that could have dropped in there between him and left field. He makes that play on that baseball, and he follows it with a 3-hit day. Looking at his numbers right now on the season, this is what's so amazing about it, and I'll get to the overall point when it comes to Cristian Pache in a second, but Edmundo Sosa, 3 hits. He's 3 for 4 with a run scored today. His average after today, 323 on the season with a 417 on base percentage. Are you kidding me, Edmundo Sosa? I'm going to loop Cristian Pache into this as well because it's why this team is doing so well. Cristian Pache goes 2 for 4 today, including a 2-run single that he's able to get for this Phillies team to really put some separation between them and the Texas Rangers. That 2-run single, 2-run triple, came in the 4th inning to make it a 3-1 ball game. The reason I highlighted Edmundo Sosa and the reason I highlight Cristian Pache is because you see numbers from guys like Bryce Harper. You see these numbers from guys like Alec Bohm. You're actually seeing Kyle Schwarber get singles for you. He's going to eclipse. Talk about eclipsing numbers of last year in the early goings of this season, like the Phillies, for instance, getting their 7th sweep of the season, which matches their total from all of last year. It's May 23rd, folks. That's pretty special. But the reason, you see all these great numbers from these players, right? If the Phillies weren't getting these kinds of contributions from guys like Edmundo Sosa and guys like Cristian Pache, if they weren't getting contributions from Cody Clemens, you're talking about, oh, Phillies are off to a good start. And you're not talking about, the Phillies are off to a historic start. Without the contributions of these guys that are supposed to be off the bench players, not everyday players, the quote-unquote not ready for prime time players that the Phillies have on this bench, without the massive contributions, especially the guy leading the pack from Edmundo Sosa, you're not having this historic start of the season. You're having a good start. Oh, one of the best teams in baseball. You're certainly not the best team in baseball. And the Phillies going out and doing what they did in this series against the defending world champion Texas Rangers is marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. And to see these contributions from the sort of under the radar guys really puts it into perspective about how you need all 9 players out there on the field and a deep bench to keep you winning. And I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. The biggest difference between this year and last year is the contributions you're getting from the bench. The other difference that I look at from this baseball team as to why this team can sustain this type of success. Now, are they going to finish with 120 wins? Probably not. However, one of the reasons I am so confident that this team can remain the best record in baseball, one of the best teams in baseball, stay in first place in the NL East, at least for the rest of the season. One of the reasons I am so confident, the number one, is because of how deep they are. And you could also tack on versatile. Because the minute one guy gets cold, another guy gets hot. Nick Castellanos works a couple of walks yesterday. We talked about it on the show here on the postcast. Oh, maybe that's a good thing for Nick Castellanos. But I even said on the show yesterday, well, you know what? If I'm grasping at straws to be like, hey, good job walking, Nick Castellanos, then that kind of lets you know the state that he's in. Not only does he get the home run, his 5th of the season, but he also gets another hit in this ball game as well. He has some deep counts in the ball game. He goes with some pitches. You love to see that. You see him pull that home run, of course. That was great as well. So maybe we'll go through the week of Nick Castellanos being good. Maybe that starts right now. And maybe it started yesterday, working a couple walks. But maybe it starts now, and then, great. Well, Nick Castellanos is great for a week, and then he cools off. And then he's great again a couple weeks later, and then he cools off. We'll see how that works out for Nick Castellanos. But the minute somebody else cools down, somebody else gets hot. Bryson Stott actually struck out today, guys. I didn't even realize it had been over 50 plate appearances since his last strikeout. I just take it for granted when he gets up there. He's going to have a good AB. Even if he goes down in the count 0-2, he's going to battle back, make it a full count. He's going to win the at-bat by a back-breaking single into right field, or he's going to work a walk. That's what I feel when I watch Bryson Stott play every single time. 52 plate appearances since his last strikeout. And I love the shot of him. They followed him to the dugout, puts his helmet down, slams his gloves down, slams the bat down. He's pissed off. They haven't struck out in 52 plate appearances. That's the kind of passion that you love from this guy. But you continue to see different guys get hot. So now, Bryson Stott, oh boy, big slump for Bryson Stott now, right? Kidding, of course. But you see then a guy like JT Realmuto go up there, and a guy like JT Realmuto starts to hit. Back-to-back games with a home run. 13-game hitting streak. How about that? The longest hitting streak by a catcher. I guess I should just jump to number 2 now. So Cristian Pache and Edmundo Sosa. Numbers at 1 and 1A on my 3 big things. Number 2, JT Realmuto. Back-to-back games with home runs. Hits his 6th and 7th home runs of the season over the last 2 games. Has that 13-game hitting streak going for himself. The longest since 2004. Old Mike Lieberthal behind the dish in those days. It's been 20 years since a Phillies catcher. I love Chooch, but good Lord, 20 years since a Phillies catcher had a 13-game hitting streak, and JT Realmuto is bringing that to the table right now. He has upped his average with that home run. He also worked a walk in the ball game. He also scored a run on that home run, obviously. 285 on the season for JT Realmuto, including a 331 on base percentage. I am loving him batting in the 2 spot for this Phillies team. I don't know what's going to happen when Trey Turner comes back. I assume Trey Turner's going to take over that spot again. I assume maybe JT Realmuto goes down and bats behind Alec Boehm for a little protection, maybe. But that 2 spot, that fits him real nice. That fits him real good. And you're seeing him have good at bats. You're seeing him be aggressive. One of the things I really liked about his home run was that he did go down in the count 0-2. And then he got the fastball down to the zone, went up and got it, went down and got it, went with the pitch, opposite field, 372 feet to right field. He just went down and got that baseball in the 0-2 count to tie things up at 1-all. Clutch home run yesterday to give the Phillies a 3-2 lead. Clutch home run today to even things up at 1-all in the ball game for the Phillies tonight. So I love to see that. So Cristian Pache and Edmundo Sosa, 1 and 1A. 1A and 1B, I'll call that. And then JT Realmuto, number 2. When your starting pitcher gives you 7 innings of 2-run baseball, only allowing 5 hits, issuing 2 walks, striking out 5. When your starting pitcher does that and he's 3rd, that means you had yourself a pretty good day. And the Phillies had themselves a pretty good day. The Phillies had themselves a pretty great series. The Phillies have had themselves a great homestand. Zack Wheeler, now back-to-back starts, going at least 7 innings of just dominant baseball after being taken for 6 runs in 4 innings against the Marlins, is a nice way to settle any kind of brief storm. In the Philly area, we've been dealing with some scattered showers throughout the day, scattered thunderstorms, really in the morning, delaying this game even by, 40 minutes? When you have a guy like Zack Wheeler go out there and you have that passing storm 3 games ago, and then his last 2 starts, he just goes right back to getting it done. It's pretty special. And you see that one instance there in the 7th inning where he ran into a little bit of trouble. He gave up the 2nd run of the ball game to the Texas Rangers. Duran came up with that infield single that just went outside, just popped out of the mitt of Bryson Stott. Great diving effort there by Stott at second base, but it ended up being an infield single there by Duran. A run ends up scoring, and then you have a mound visit. 2 outs. You got 2 quick outs in that inning. Garcia flew out to left. Jankowski flew out to Pache in center, and then Lowe got the single with 2 outs, and then Duran got the infield single to make a run out of it, and then all of a sudden it was 4-2. In that 7th inning, Caleb Cotham came out to the mound. They have the mound conference. Ran into a little bit more trouble in that 7th inning, unfortunately. Heim came up there. He worked a walk, and then he got Simeon to pop out to first base to Bryce Harper in between first and home. He got out of it. Struggled a little bit, allowed 1 more base runner, but then slammed the door. And then the Phillies said, that's all you really need to do for us today there, Zack Wheeler. Thanks for your time, son. Jose Alvarado came in and pitched the 8th inning. Jeff Hoffman came in and closed it out. And Zack Wheeler needed 91 pitches to get through those 7 innings, which is about right. That's pretty decent. So Zack Wheeler improves to 6-3 on the season, and he lowers his ERA to 2.53 on the season. That can't be right. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I get to the right number. Oh, 2.52. No, that's not right either. Pissing me off. Anyway, 253. Yeah, 253 on the season is where it goes. So it actually goes up a wee bit after today's game. Phillies, we'll get the historic numbers. Our friend Jeff Kerr of CBS put out these numbers when it came to CBS Sports, when it came to this Phillies start to the season. We'll cover some of those numbers. We'll get your comments in here in a second as well. But I know it's funny when you watch this Phillies team get off to the start. And we'll talk about what it means to the city of Philadelphia, especially when you talk about how it was a packed house at Citizens Bank Park for a Thursday afternoon game with thunderstorms in the forecast. Philly didn't care. Philly came out to support this baseball team. Pretty great. We'll get to that in a second when we return. You're Locked On Phillies postcast, the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Oh, my goodness. You guys know, and you guys love the Game Time app. You know, I love the Game Time app. Save up to 60% on buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater, whatever it might be when we talk about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB and get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Once again, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. They have flash ticket deals. They have zone deals. They have all-in pricing, which is great. No surprise fees when you go to cash out. They also have Seat View, where you can actually look at your seat, the panoramic view from your seat before you purchase your ticket so you know exactly what you're buying. And here's what is fantastic, the guaranteed lowest price, called the Game Time Guarantee. If you find tickets on another site, on another app for less money, the Game Time app, you know what they'll do? They'll refund your account 110% of the difference. That's the Game Time guarantee for the lowest price guaranteed. Game Time ticket coverage. Oh, my goodness gracious. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. All courtesy of the Game Time app. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone. Create an account. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem the code with LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed with the Game Time app. You want to have some fun with FanDuel? You need to have some fun with FanDuel. Win yourself some money, some cold hard cash with FanDuel. Winner takes all in the NBA and NHL playoffs. FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and so much more. And how about what they're offering right now? When you talk about the Celtics, you talk about the Pacers, for instance. How about this same game parlay? At plus 522. Boston Celtics on the money line. TJ McConnell, what's up, Philly? TJ McConnell to score 10 or more points. Pascal Siakam to score 20 or more points. And Jason Tatum to go over 30 or more points. Over 4,000 people have already placed that bet. You can go to FanDuel.com right now and get that bet. Plus 522 on that. If you're just thinking about the game itself, Pacers and Celtics tonight. Celtics on the line right now at minus their 8.5-point favorites in this game on FanDuel.com. So download the app, FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/LockedOn. That's FanDuel.com/LockedOn to make every playoff shot count on FanDuel.com. And once again, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. Not too shabby. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Before we go any further, let's get into the chat, see how you guys are doing on this fine evening. Sosa, what's up, Crazy? Sosa has been such a relief for us without Trey. Absolutely been a relief for us without Trey. Going into today's game, now we had a 3-hit game, did Edmundo Sosa. But when you break it down just a little bit further, Edmundo Sosa in the month of May. So I don't have, this does not include his 3 hits today, but in the month of May, he's hitting 286 with a 400 on base percentage. So he's hitting well over that in the month of May after today's performance. That's pretty good. IBH, I love it. Oh, baby. Yeah. IBH, as Bobby Knight once said, any questions that deserve an answer? Phillies are fire, says Star Wars. Hell yeah. Go Sixers, says, as far as you get the brooms out again. You know what I need to do? I need to just hang a broom. That's what I'm going to do. But I don't want to jinx it. You know what I mean? I don't want to get cocky. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be the bad luck charm. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I need to hang up. No, I shouldn't. Because that's too cocky, right? Maybe I should hang a broom on set for all the times the Phillies get sweeps this year. It still does blow my mind that you're talking about 7 sweeps in all of last year, and you're talking about you already got your 7th sweep of the season, and it's May 23rd. That is it. By the way, more on that in a second when I reference these numbers from our friend Jeff Kerr of CBS Sports. Not sure I've ever seen 40,000 fans at every game in May. Wow. Well, Phillies did have that long sellout streak of 226 games at Citizens Bank Park. Pretty amazing. Go Sixers during school too. That's funny. IBH, go Sixers. People are agreeing. This is pretty awesome. Faxi, I guess. If you didn't learn something in school before the Thursday before Memorial Day weekend, you might as well stop going. This is a great point. Well, who needs to go to school? Who needs school? Think about me. I don't need school. I didn't need school. It's a complete waste of time for me. I talk about sports. What the teachers are telling me to stop doing is what I do for a living. Like, that's amazing. What else we got? Vincent, what's going on? Boom! Just told someone on chat a few days ago, Pache was a highly touted Braves prospect. Yes, he was. And he gamed out today. Cassia with a little bomb. Eddie Sosa. You the man. Look at that, Vincent. Jakowski. What's going on, man? Yakshamash, friend. Just absolutely love what I've seen from this Phillies team. Now, we've talked about superlatives, I believe, is a word that's been mentioned in terms of trying to describe. They're finding different adjectives to describe how great this Philly season has been. Courtesy of our friend Jeff Kerr at CBS. Phillies are seeking today. They went into this series seeking their seventh sweep of the season against their first 12 opponents. 7 out of 12, just clean sweeps, busting out the brooms, babe. The last time the Phillies swept 7 of their first 12 opponents, or should not first 12, but swept 7 out of 12 opponents. August to September in 1977. Again, embrace every ounce of how awesome this is. 1977, the Phillies have not had a run like this where they swept 7 out of 12 opponents. I think I said first, just 7 out of 12 opponents. They haven't done that since 1977. You're not doing that without guys like Edmundo Sosa and Cristian Pache making sure that they're getting their contributions in to help this Phillies ball club. And you're certainly not doing it with a absolutely amazing pitching staff. So that's one of the historic numbers I wanted to get to you guys. Also, now the Phillies going into today were 22 games over 500. The last time they were 22 games over 500 at any point in the season was, you have to go all the way back to 2011. And that was the year they set the franchise record with 102 wins. Things are going pretty fantastic for the Phillies, to say the absolute least. And I am marveling at every single little tidbit of information about this Phillies season. There's one thing I do have to mention, because the guy's been so red hot, and unfortunately today he was not red hot at all, and he had his opportunities, bases loaded situation. I'm talking about Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm today and our boy Bryson Stott. Goodness gracious, not their day, unfortunately. In this 5-2 win where Kyle Schwarber got you a couple of hits, in this day where Cristian Pache had 2 hits and Edmundo Sosa had 3 hits, Bryson Stott and Alec Bohm combined to go 0 for 8. I would love to know how many times that's happened so far this season, where both of them in the same starting lineup went 0 for 8. And not one walk either. They were not on base. How about that? Alec Bohm in particular today, despite having opportunities to drive in some runs, he went 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Again, not ideal. Not ideal. There were some instances there where Alec Bohm really had a chance to blow this game completely open. And one of those instances actually came in the 4th inning. Phillies had already opened up a 3-run lead in the 4th inning with Cristian Pache getting that 2-run triple to left field. There are already 2 outs in the inning. Kyle Schwarber stepped up then, got the RBI single to center field and made it a 4-1 game. Realmuto worked a walk. Harper got a single to right. Heaney goes out of the game. They bring in Anderson, and Alec Bohm steps up there and unfortunately grounds into the grounds into the double play. There was 1 out in the inning at that point. Merrifield reached on an error. That's right, it was an error. So there's 1 out in the inning. He stepped up there, and he grounded into the 5-4-3 double play to get out of that jam for the Rangers. Bohm had another opportunity later in the game, couldn't convert, unfortunately. But when a guy has been mashing the way he has and the Phillies win, it's only worth something mentioning as opposed to examining. I don't think we're going to see too many instances of that from Alec Bohm. If I had to say if there's a feel-good story about this game, we've talked a lot about the end of the bench guys or the guys that have just found their way to contribute. One guy that I know some people don't like him. I know he rubs a lot of people the wrong way because his attitude is not exactly that of a quote-unquote Philadelphian. But I do root for Nick Castellanos. And seeing him get those walks yesterday, all right, yeah, a little bit of hope, a glimmer of hope. But then seeing him be able to go down and get that baseball today for his 5th home run of the season, seeing him have that great timing and be able to go down and get that ball, that is a great feeling to have for the very near future of Nick Castellanos. We talked about possibly giving him a day off. Maybe he does get that with the Phillies going on the road trip. We'll get more into that in a second. But maybe he will get that day off. But Rob Thompson's been very hesitant on sitting Nick Castellanos, really in Nick Castellanos' time here in Philadelphia over the last 3 seasons, including this one. So it only seems like Nick Castellanos is gonna get a break if there is any sort of tweak of an injury, any hint of an injury. The guy wants to stay in the lineup and swing his way out of anything. We saw that really didn't help Trey Turner last year until much later in the season, the last 2 months, perfect example of that. And I do think the standing ovation contributed greatly to his turnaround. I don't think Nick Castellanos is going to get that same kind of treatment. So the only way for him to get out of this, if he finds his way out by swinging out of it, then all right. Then maybe he'll give us more than the 2 weeks he had where he was on fire on that road trip and then bringing it back to South Philly. But if he's on the verge of breaking out of it again, then obviously Rob Thompson has to play him, has to let him swing his way out of it. And this is where you cross your fingers and you hope to see that type of sustained success for Nick Castellanos that helped him make it to the All-Star game last year. And then he keeps it at that level. Because let's just live in this world for a second where Trey Turner comes back and Edmundo Sosa is not getting as much playing time. You are going to need somebody else other than just Trey Turner to keep up what you've been seeing from Edmundo Sosa. And Nick Castellanos would be my number one guy to say, oh, all right. Because if you get Trey Turner back, then you know you're getting a guy who's hitting like 330 and can steal bases and create runs and all that. You get that back with Nick Castellanos getting hot. I mean, at this point, I just keep on eyeing history when it comes to the Phillies. Because that's what you're looking at right now. That's the table. That's the foundation that you've set. And little theory that I've thrown out there is just, what if? What if the Phillies do what they've done every single year, which is still play their best baseball in June? Which would pretty much mean the Phillies have to go undefeated in June. But what if their best baseball is still in front of them? That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Oh, here we go, Sixers. You'll never let me live this down. Trade Bohm to St. Louis, right, Farzy? All right. Scoozy. Sorry. All right. We'll come back and we'll take a look at what the Phillies got going on in this road trip, including the pitching matchups coming up in the very near future with the Phils as they head out to Colorado, take on the Colorado Rockies. If you know, you know. All right. We'll be back in a second. You're locked on Phillies Postcast. You guys have fun on Prize Picks? You guys like Prize Picks? I know I like Prize Picks. You should like Prize Picks too. I did say that Zack Wheeler would pitch more than 6 innings today, so I had him on more on Prize Picks. If you don't know Prize Picks yet, you're missing out on a lot of the fun. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. It's easy. The easiest, as a matter of fact, and most exciting way to get in on all the action when you watch your favorite sports and your favorite players. You just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks even offers injury insurance, which I know is music to the ears of fantasy players, such as myself. So let's say that your entry doesn't make two or more plate appearances, 2 or fewer plate appearances in baseball. Guess what? FanDuel's got your back with this injury insurance. Prize Picks will not count that as a loss. I love testing my skills on Prize Picks this baseball season for the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $100 with just a few taps on your phone. Prize Picks is a really simple way to play. You make picks, you submit the picks. Takes me less than 60 seconds. How do I know? I timed it so I could report back to you on how easy it is. Plus, you also get quick withdrawals when it comes to Prize Picks. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions and special offers for the biggest moments in sports. Share all. You want to share your knowledge and win? You do that on Prize Picks. Share that incredible experience you have on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for your first deposit match up to $100. That's download the app, the Prize Picks app. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB, all lowercase, for your first deposit match up to $100. Make sure you have a good time on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's just that easy on Prize Picks. I'm saying real quick, I see this in the chat. I want to make sure I get this. Cody Clemens play left field or center field? Not really. I would say left field. There's an opportunity, Chris Spots, but I don't know. Vincent, this is a great point. Team's chemistry is spot on. What if they drop a few series after the return of Trey? That's funny. Here's my one thing. So people have speculated about the future of Garrett Stubbs. I'm not moving Garrett Stubbs. Garrett Stubbs ain't going anywhere. I don't give a damn if anyone looks at him and goes, oh, he's a glorified mascot. Fine. Garrett Stubbs is a glue guy. This clubhouse loves him. I ain't messing with one drop 1 ounce anything when it comes to the chemistry in this clubhouse. You want to change something? Change the bullpen. That's it. I'm not moving Stubbs. I'm not touching Stubbs. Stubbs is staying what he's doing right now. I feel like right now you've gotten enough from Johan Rojas, for instance, where we could shift. We could shift to Garrett Stubbs and use the phrase that we used on Johan Rojas coming out of spring training, right? Here's the phrase. All right, I'll just take out Johan Rojas' name and I'll sub in. I'll Mad Lib Garrett Stubbs. Okay, ready? Well, look, if Garrett Stubbs is hurting you, then you got bigger problems on the roster. All right. If Garrett Stubbs is the focal point of criticism, then you've got other problems. If it comes down to what Garrett Stubbs is doing, then you got other problems. That means that, like, Kyle Schwarber is just not hitting at all. That means Bryce Harper is not hitting at all. That means that Nick Castellanos took like a Dennis Rodman vacation to Vegas or something. I don't know. That's what that means. If we're focusing on Garrett Stubbs, we got bigger problems. Garrett Stubbs, glue guy. I'm not touching that. Chemistry is a real thing. I always love to tell people you're not playing, MLB The Show. You're not playing 2K. You're not playing Madden. When they say it's in the game, if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's not in the game. Chemistry. And that's in the game, but it's not in the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm not messing with the chemistry in this clubhouse. That's for darn sure. Absolutely. As for what's coming up in the very near future for your Philadelphia Phillies, well, first and foremost, the Atlanta Braves already locked in a win, so they still stay 6 games behind the Phillies in the NL East. For today's game, they beat the Chicago Cubs. Oh, look at that. Former Phillies prospect Ben Brown made the start. There you go. So that happened. But anyway, the Braves lost. The Braves won 3-0. And I'm just looking to see if Marcell Ozuna drove in any runs. He had 1 RBI. Alec Bohm, second place. MLB lead for RBIs. What a scrub. Only in second now, please. But yeah, so the Braves won. That happened. They stay 6 games behind the Phillies. As for the Phillies in the very near future, now 37-14 on the season. They are back at it tomorrow night on the road. Christopher Sanchez will get the start against Ty Blatch. Ty Blatch is 1-2 on the season with a 5.41 ERA. A lefty versus lefty matchup tomorrow night at 8:40 in Colorado when the Phillies open up that 3-game series against the Rockies. Christopher Sanchez does get this start. Had another Rocky start in his, no pun intended, in his last outing, but got through it to give you 7 innings of 2-run baseball. 8 strikeouts for Christopher Sanchez. That's what he was able to do against that pesky Washington Nationals team. So the Phillies will start that series tomorrow night at 8:40 in Colorado. After that, they keep it on the road. This is where Trey Turner is expected to make his return. They got the 3-game series in Colorado against the Rockies, then a 3-game series against the San Francisco Giants in San Francisco. The Giants will miss Nola and Suarez. They'll get Walker, Wheeler, and Sanchez. So that's the next 6 games, all on the road for the Phillies. And their next off day is a week from today. They come back from the West Coast, and they open up a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. And then they got a 3-game series at home against the Brew Crew. Then a 2-game hit against the New York Metropolitans. And that's how they get June started. As for now, first off, I want to say thank you to all you amazing people that have just flooded us with subscriptions over the last couple of days. Really appreciate that. It's a new channel. We have great people doing the daily podcasts. I enjoy doing the postcast. I enjoy you guys being with me for the postcast as well. It has been a fun ride to do these Phillies postcasts here on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. So if you haven't done it already, make sure you hit like. Smash that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Do a jumping jacks on the subscribe button, and we'll have all you need. When it comes to your Phillies coverage, your Sixers coverage, Keith Pompey doing a great job. Our Eagles guys doing a great job on the Locked On Eagles podcast as well. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. It's all right here on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. I'll be back with you guys for a late one tomorrow night after that 8:40 start time against the Colorado Rockies. You know. Thanks for watching, everyone. Catch you guys tomorrow. See you.